The alley smelled of damp concrete and refuse, the shadows thick with menace. Lieutenant Commander Elena Ward pressed her back against the cold brick wall, fingers brushing the grip of her sidearm, eyes scanning the three men closing in from either end. Every instinct screamed caution, every heartbeat a warning drum. They thought they had her trapped. They thought intimidation could bend her will. Seconds later, they would learn just how fatal a mistake that assumption was. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. Elena's mind raced, cataloging the alley's every detail. Cracked pavement offered unstable footing, broken glass littered corners. A loose pipe above threatened to fall if she shifted too suddenly. The men didn't know her. They didn't understand the years of Navy SEAL training. The discipline burned into every sinew of her body. She thought she'd never see him again. She was wrong. Her first thought was survival, yes, but a secondary, sharper instinct whispered strategy. Strike now, precise and efficient, or risk the danger escalating. Her breathing slowed. Rhythmic controlled a deception to mask the storm within. The first man lunged, his confidence overestimating his skill. Elena sidestepped, letting his momentum carry him into a pile of crates, the sound of wood splintering a muted warning to the others. The alley vibrated with tension. A distant car horn echoed against brick walls, trash rattled in the breeze, and a stray dog yipped nervously. Murmurs emerged from a nearby window neighbors who had paused mid-step, their curiosity and fear hanging in the air like fog. Elena's gaze flicked to them briefly, the reminder that danger isn't just physical, it's moral too. How far should she push? How much force was necessary to neutralize the threat without escalating into needless harm? The second attacker was quicker, angrier, and more reckless. Elena met him with a calculated strike, using leverage to topple him while keeping herself perfectly balanced. He scrambled, shock flashing across his face. The SEAL inside her smiled faintly, but her expression remained calm. This wasn't about ego. It was about control, dominance without cruelty, precision without hesitation. A third man, the apparent leader, hesitated just long enough to give her an advantage. Elena shifted silently, her fingers brushing against the tactical knife at her belt. She moved with the grace of water, slipping between shadows. Redirecting his charge with minimal effort but maximum impact, he went down with a thud that resonated across the narrow alley. The sound was final, almost ceremonial. For a heartbeat, the alley was still. The air, thick with dust and tension, vibrated with the crowd's quiet reactions. A soft, collective intake of breath, the shuffle of feet, the whisper of awe. Elena's chest rose and fell slowly. Every inch of the alley had been measured, every action intentional. She had turned the tide of a fight that had seemed hopeless the moment they cornered her. Yet amidst the chaos, a moment of moral clarity arrived. The first man, barely more than a teenager, tried to crawl away, fear and confusion battling his instincts. Elena hesitated. Could she punish him for following orders he didn't fully understand? Could she teach a lesson without becoming the embodiment of vengeance herself? In that quiet instant, she made a choice. Restraint. She immobilized him, ensuring no further harm while keeping the other's threat neutralized. Her victory was not just tactically, was ethical, a statement that true strength balances action with conscience. The remaining men attempted to regroup, desperation sharpening their movements. Elena's response was cinematic, a masterclass in efficiency. She flowed from strike to strike, redirecting force, disabling opposition, moving like a tide that no barrier could withstand. Each motion was precise, each breath controlled, each heartbeat synchronized with survival instinct. They had cornered her, yes, but she had transformed the alley into her domain, a proving ground for skill and will. When the dust finally settled, Elena stood amid the wreckage, uniform torn, skin scuffed, jaw tight but unbroken. The alley's spectators released held breaths, whispers turning to astonishment. Children peeked from corners, adults murmured respect, and the faintest clapping echoed like a benediction. She had survived not just physically, but morally, strategically, and emotionally. As she moved toward the exit, sunlight catching the edges of the brick walls, Elena reflected on the lesson she had delivered. Strength is not merely force. True power combines discipline, intelligence, and humanity. She had proved that underestimating a Navy SEAL is a fatal mistake. Yes, but she had also demonstrated that victory can coexist with compassion. In that moment, the alley returned to quiet normalcy. Trash rattled in the breeze, shadows stretched long, and the city moved on. Unaware of the battle that had taken place just out of sight, Elena disappeared into the streets, her presence a ghostly reminder that courage, skill, and morality are a combination few dare challenge. Because courage doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long streaks of amber across the alley, the echoes of the confrontation lingered, a warning, a lesson, and a testament to the Navy SEAL who had turned a cornered moment into a triumph that no one present would ever forget. If this story inspired you, make sure to like, subscribe, comment below. Your voice keeps whispered words alive, and every heroic story remembered.